Hi, and we're back here down on the River Usk, and today it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be looking at having a little Riverside chat as part of a new series of YouTube series, and this is what I'm going to sort of discuss, and I'll give my views on current news and issues within the fishing community. Today I'm going to be talking about what I think which is quite important, and that is, should under 16-year-olds be allowed to fish unaccompanied at fishing venues, and in particular public fishing venues such as canals, rivers and parks? So let's get set up, get a cast out, sit down and we'll have a chat. So welcome back. We've got the lines cast out and we're just waiting for those bites now. But let's have this Riverside chat. And this first one is about a subject which I think is going to start growing, becoming a bit more widespread. A lot of clubs, thanks to COVID, are now fully booked. You know, COVID has brought a lot of people back into fishing. I think the Environment Agency said there were something like 25-30% more fishing licences issued since COVID because of the number of people coming back into the sport. Good thing is that about 30% of under 30s are now women who buy fishing licences, so women are coming back to the sport. So a lot of clubs are fully booked and there's restrictions on places. Lots of competition for different pegs and places and fishing locations. And I fear that children are going to pay the price of this. And I'll tell you why. On Sunday I was doing research for my new series on bus stop fishing, trying to find good locations that I can get to on the bus from Newport around South Wales. And obviously one of those that I saw was Cwmbran Fishing Lake, the boating pool, public park. Up until recently, people could go there fishing. I've been there a few times fishing, and you didn't have to pay. Not that it's free, there was always supposed to be a payment made. It's just that it was run by Cwmbran Council and they didn't have the money to employ someone to go around and collect the fees. So effectively it was just left for people to go and fish. But last year it got took over by a local fishing club. They now charge £5 a day fishing, which when compared to commercial fisheries is really, really cheap. But when compared to other local public access locations such as, let's say, Cwmbran Basin Canal System, their fishing day permit is £2.50. And a lot of fishing permits at public access, such as parks and canals, are around the £2.50 to £3, maybe £4 a day. So £5 a day is very expensive for public access, what is effectively fishing in the park pool. So that's one thing. But the thing that really concerns me, and which I think is detrimental to fishing as a whole, is that they have banned unaccompanied under 16-year-olds. So if a child wants to go fishing, they must take their parent or a guardian or an adult with them. They can't go fishing alone. Now, I think that's detrimental to fishing. I know a lot of good 11, 12, 13-year-olds anglers, boys and girls, who can put some adults to shame with their fishing ability. They can easily go out fishing quite happily on their own and have a great day out. That's now banned at Cwmbran Boating Lake, and that's disappointing and concerning. Now, I'm 60. I come from a different era. I used to go fishing with my friends, and we went out on our own. 11, 12, 13, we'd go down the canal. This was in the early 70s. Go to local reservoir. Fishing was a free, cheap and easy hobby to do, sport to do. And even in the 70s, there was lots of social events for young people, lots of youth clubs. Local cinemas would have matinees for young people. All of this is now gone. Very few affordable things for young people and children to do. But fishing still remains one of those things that they can afford. £20, £30 on a set of rods, spade to dig up worms, and you're out fishing. During school holidays when I was 11, 12, 13, my mother used to have my fishing gear packed with sandwiches down the stairs by the front door, so I could get out of the house to leave her to do the cleaning, the housework. Okay, 1970s. And we'd go off out and meet up with friends and we'd spend a day fishing. 3, 4, 5 times a week during the summer holidays. Now, of course, if you're having to pay £5 a day, that's a lot of money for a family. £20 a week during the summer holidays. Not many families can afford a parent to go and escort their child to go fishing. If you look at the catchment area of Cwmbran Boating Lake, there's a lot of very good, solid, working class poor in the area. That's catchment, working class. Poor people who are being hit really hard at the moment with all these living expenses, national insurance expenses, very few youth clubs available for the child to go to. Everything for the child to do is going to cost money. £20 a week for their child to go out fishing. That's if they've got the time to go out there and escort them, is a lot. So I think this move by, I think it's Crow Valley Fishing Club or something like that, to blanket ban under 16s for fishing alone is wrong. Now, if they've got problems with a group of kids, then they can ban that group of kids. From all accounts, since they've taken over the club, they've had people down there almost full time to go around to collect money. So they know who the troublemakers are, and they could easily ban that group of kids and allow those genuine fishing kids, to carry on fishing. But I don't think that's a problem. I think the issue is the money. There's limited pegs down at Cwmbran Boating Pool, and I think the club wants the money of the adults. They want the £5 a session. They don't want the concessionary rates that children would pay. In fact, I don't think there are any concessionary rates for children. And if they were to allow children to fish unaccompanied, they'd have to introduce concessionary rates. So I think this is more to do with money than any antisocial behaviour. And that's not a good move for industry. That's not a good move for fishing as a sport. But I'd like to know what your thoughts are. This is going to be an issue that grows with more and more clubs now being fully booked and fewer pegs being available, will children be picking up the cost of that by being banned by fishing alone, so that parents and adults have to go with them in order for them to pay full rates? I'd like to know your views on that. Are we doing enough to encourage young people? Are we discouraging young people? Should children be allowed to fish on their own? Or should we actually wrap them up and say, no, not without an adult? So I'd like to know what your views are. Leave a comment below. That was my first Riverside chat. That's my first views. I don't think we're doing enough for young people in fishing. I think charging them and banning them from even fishing on their own at a public venue, this is a public venue, not a commercial venue, this is a public park, is detrimental to the sport. It doesn't encourage young people into the sport, and it will impact it at a later stage. But please leave your comment. Let me know. Do you think it's justified? Do you think it's not justified? And if you want to listen to my ramblings by the Riverside, please subscribe. There's going to be lots of fishing related videos coming out. My bus stop fishing series, where we'll go out fishing at public access venues around Wales on public transport. We've got homemade fishing bait videos that are going to be coming up. We're testing out these gummy worm recipes around various locations, both saltwater and freshwater fishing. So please subscribe, and I hope you've enjoyed today's little session. And if you go out fishing in the next few days, good luck, tight lines, and bring the big one in.